Of moving parts to this story, both inside the country and outside of Yemen, and as could be expected, it's civilians who are caught in the middle. The World Health Organization now saying at least 560 people have been killed so far, and some 100,000 have fled their homes. A chilling silence over Yemen's capital. Quiet. But not for long. On Wednesday, the Saudi-led coalition continued its airstrikes on Sana'a. Officials say they are targeting Houthi rebel offices. On the ground, the people tell a different story.
2 missiles were dropped on peaceful civilians and tenants. They have nothing to do with us. This is from al-Assad, and now we are calling for jihad.
The air campaign, now 2 weeks in, is leaving scars down below. More are likely coming. The foreign minister from the United Arab Emirates, his country a member of the coalition, says all options are on the table, including ground troops. Meanwhile, in Yemen's south, supporters of the country's president battled in the streets of Aden against Houthi rebels who back Yemen's previous leader. The group, Sunni leaders and the West say, is backed by Iran.
A number of Houthis and their followers went for training in Iran, and there are a number of revolutionary guards inside Yemen for military purposes.
Tehran denies those charges, but on Wednesday reportedly sent a naval destroyer to the waters near Yemen. This, as Washington said, it would expedite its supply of weapons to the coalition. Speaking in Beirut, a top Iranian diplomat said his country was working on a political solution.
All influential and active political factions with popular backing should stand together to form a government of national unity that can govern Yemeni affairs in the best possible way.
Meanwhile, the U.S. Defense Secretary Ash Carter warned a power vacuum in the country may be exploited by al-qaeda.
Obviously, we hope that order is restored to Yemen, not only for that reason, but because there's a lot of suffering going on in Yemen as these fluid battles and these different groups go back and forth.
No one knows that better than the people here. On Wednesday, the group Doctors Without Borders says one of its boats successfully docked in the port of Aden, the first time since the heavy fighting escalated last month. The head of the mission says there's 2.5 tons of supplies on the ship, but with already dangerous roads now cut off, she's unsure how quickly they'll be able to get that aid to the people who need it most.
Well, we know that UNICEF and international aid organizations have warned of potential humanitarian collapse in Yemen. So if that's difficult to get aid in, what's being done to help the people there?
That's right. I mentioned those 2.5 tons that Doctors Without Borders managed to get to the port. 25 times that amount is sitting in Amman, the Jordanian capital, waiting to go in, possibly with coalition forces. But aside from the aid, there's a lot of momentum to try to get the fighting to stop. Jordan, for example, said it was circulating a resolution at the UN that would ban the sale of weapons to the Houthis. If that passes and can be enforced, which might take some time, but if that happens, they say that might succeed in reducing some of the violence.